ITIL for Foundation Crash Course, IT Service Management Explained, Genre, Computer Science. Target Audience, IT Professionals, Career Changers, Students, Service Desk Analysts, Project Managers, and Certification Seekers. Style, Practical, Tutorial, Instructional, Visual Heavy. Structure Model, DeepSeek Reasoner. Content Model, DeepSeek Chat. ITIL for Foundation Crash Course IT Service Management Explained. 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. Chapter 1 Why ITIL for Matters Transforming Chaos into Value. 31 seconds. Chapter 2 The Heart of the Framework The Service Value System SVS. 12 minutes and 43 seconds. Chapter 3 Your Guiding Compass The 7 ITIL for Principles. 26 minutes and 40 seconds. Chapter 4 The 4 Dimensions of Service Management. 41 minutes and 54 seconds. Chapter 5 Core Practices for Daily Success Part 1. 54 minutes and 39 seconds. Chapter 6 Core Practices for Daily Success Part 2. 1 hour, 4 minutes and 38 seconds. Chapter 7 Creating Value Together The Service Relationship Model. 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 16 seconds. Chapter 8 Mapping the Journey Value Streams and Processes. 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 24 seconds. Chapter 9 Navigating the Shift from Projects to Products. 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 49 seconds. Chapter 10 Your Roadmap to Adoption Getting Started. 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 59 seconds. Chapter 11 Preparing for the ITIL for Foundation Exam. 2 hours, 1 minute, and 47 seconds. Chapter 12 Your Journey Forward from Foundation to Mastery. 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 4 seconds.
Chapter 1 Why ITIL 4 Matters, Transforming Chaos into Value. Let's be honest for a moment. When you hear ITIL, what comes to mind? For many, it's a flashback to thick, dusty binders filled with rigid processes, a mountain of paperwork, and a framework that seemed more interested in compliance than actually helping you get work done. You might have even seen it implemented in ways that slowed everything down, creating frustration for both IT teams and the colleagues they support. Sections 1.1 The Service Management Dilemma, What's Broken in Your IT World? 1.2 ITIL's Evolution, From Process Manual to a Flexible Framework. 1.3 The Core Promise of ITIL 4, Co-Creating Business Value. 1.4 Who Wins with ITIL 4? Benefits for you and your organization. That old perception is precisely what ITIL 4 aims to shatter. This chapter isn't about learning a set of rules to follow blindly. It's about discovering a practical, flexible guide for turning the daily chaos of IT service delivery into clear, measurable value for your organization and for your career. We'll explore what was broken, how ITIL has evolved, and why this latest version is a game changer for anyone involved in creating, delivering, or supporting technology services. Section 1.1 The Service Management Dilemma, What's Broken in Your IT World? Think about your last typical week in IT. How much of your time was spent on truly strategic, value-adding work versus fighting fires? You're likely familiar with these symptoms of a broken service management approach. The firefighting cycle is all-consuming. Your team is constantly reactive, rushing from one major incident to the next. There's no time to fix the root cause, so the same problems keep recurring. This leads to burnout, low morale, and a perception of IT as a cost center that simply keeps the lights on, often flickeringly. The silo effect creates invisible walls. Development works in one corner, operations in another, and the service desk is isolated in its own world. Handoffs between teams are fraught with miscommunication and blame. A request or change can get lost for days, with no one having full visibility into its status. The customer experience suffers, and business projects stall. The us versus them mentality becomes the norm. Business colleagues see IT as a slow, unresponsive gatekeeper speaking a foreign language of tickets and priorities. IT sees users as unreasonable, constantly making demands without understanding the complexity involved. This disconnect destroys trust and stifles innovation. These aren't just minor annoyances, they are systemic failures that prevent IT from fulfilling its true potential as a strategic partner. The cost is measured in lost productivity, missed opportunities, and immense frustration on all sides. The core dilemma is this: you have skilled, passionate people and advanced technology, but the system in which they operate, the practices, workflows, and mindset is working against them. You need a new operating model, not just new tools. Section 1.2, ITIL's Evolution, from Process Manual to a Flexible Framework. To appreciate where ITIL 4 is going, it helps to understand where it came from. ITIL's journey mirrors the evolution of IT itself. ITIL V1 V2, the 1990s, early 2000s, the process era. Born in the UK government, early ITIL was a revelation. It provided the first common language and defined processes, like incident and change management, for an industry that often operated on tribal knowledge. It was prescriptive and linear, perfect for stabilizing the large, monolithic IT infrastructures of the time. Its strength was creating order from chaos, but it could be rigid. ITIL V3, 2007-2011, the service lifecycle. This version introduced the service lifecycle, strategy, design, transition, operation, continual improvement, as a core concept. It shifted focus from isolated processes to the journey of a service, from concept to retirement. This was a major step forward, emphasizing strategy and improvement. However, in practice, it was often implemented as a complex set of 26 processes, which could feel overwhelming and bureaucratic. ITIL 4, 2019, the Value Co-Creation Framework. ITIL 4 represents a fundamental paradigm shift. It doesn't throw out the proven practices of the past but recontextualizes them for the modern digital world. It moves from a process-centric view to a holistic service value system, SVS. It embraces agile, DevOps, and lean ways of working, recognizing that speed and collaboration are non-negotiable. Most importantly, it places value co-creation and a focus on outcomes at its absolute heart. In essence, ITIL has grown up. It's no longer a rigid instruction manual. It's a flexible, adaptable framework designed to integrate with other practices and help you design a management system that works for your unique context. Figure: extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing the evolution of ITIL as a tree. On the left, roots labeled V1 V2, process stability are deep and structured. The trunk grows upward into V3, service lifecycle, with branches representing the 5 lifecycle stages. At the top, the canopy blossoms into ITIL 4, value ecosystem, with interconnected leaves labeled agile, DevOps, customer value, SVS, and flexibility. The style should be a clean, modern infographic with a slight organic, growing feel, using a cohesive color palette that progresses from dark blues at the roots to vibrant greens at the canopy. Section 1.3, the core promise of ITIL 4, co-creating business value. This is the central, transformative idea of ITIL 4, IT exists to co-create value. Let's break down what that truly means, as it changes everything. First, value is defined by the consumer, not the provider. You don't get to decide if your service is valuable. The business user, customer, or partner who uses it does. Value is the perceived benefits, usefulness, and importance they derive from it. A perfectly engineered server is just a cost until it reliably runs an application that helps a sales team close deals. Second, value is co-created through active collaboration. IT does not deliver value to a passive consumer. Instead, the consumer, e.g., a marketing department, and the provider, IT, work together. IT provides the service, a CRM platform, and the marketing team applies its skills, campaign management, to achieve a desired outcome, increased lead generation. Both parties are essential. This is operationalized through the Service Value System, SVS, which is the engine of ITIL 4. Think of it as your organization's blueprint for turning opportunity and demand into valuable outcomes. The SVS ensures every activity, from a major strategic project to a single service desk ticket, is purposefully connected to value creation. It replaces isolated process execution with a connected, holistic flow of work. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing the ITIL 4 Service Value System, SVS, as an integrated, dynamic machine. The center is the service value chain, 6 activities: plan, improve, engage, design and transition, obtain, build, deliver and support, depicted as interlocking gears. Surrounding this core are the key components: guiding principles, as a compass, governance, as a steering wheel, practices, as toolkits, and continual improvement, as a looping arrow encircling everything. The overall composition should be sleek, mechanical yet clear, with arrows showing flow. Use a consistent corporate blue-gray color scheme with one accent color, like orange, for the continual improvement loop to highlight its importance. The 4 dimensions model ensures this system is balanced and sustainable. ITIL 4 reminds us that successful services require attention to organizations and people. Do we have the right culture, skills, and structure? Information and technology. Do we have the right data, tools, and platforms? Partners and suppliers. Are our external relationships managed effectively? Value streams and processes. Are our workflows efficient and effective? Neglecting any one dimension creates risk. For example, the best technology, Dimension 2, will fail if the people are resistant or untrained, Dimension 1. Section 1.4. Who wins with ITIL 4? Benefits for you and your organization. Adopting the ITIL 4 mindset isn't just an organizational win, it's a personal and professional one. The benefits cascade from the individual contributor to the entire enterprise. For you, the IT professional, career clarity and advancement. Understanding how IT drives business value makes you a strategic asset, not just a technical resource. This language is crucial for career growth into leadership roles. Reduced friction and stress. A common framework breaks down silos. You'll spend less time navigating confusion and conflict and more time on meaningful work. Enhanced problem-solving skills. The guiding principles, like start where you are and progress iteratively, provide a practical toolkit for tackling daily challenges more effectively. Professional credibility. ITIL certification is a globally recognized validation of your service management expertise. For your team, improved collaboration. A shared model and vocabulary eliminate misunderstandings between development, operations, and support teams. Increased efficiency. Streamlined value streams and automated processes reduce waste and repetitive work. Better morale. Moving from a firefighting culture to a proactive, improvement-focused one boosts engagement and job satisfaction. For your organization, alignment with business goals. IT initiatives are directly tied to business outcomes, ensuring technology investment delivers tangible returns. Improved service quality and reliability. Proactive practices and a focus on customer experience lead to fewer outages and faster resolutions. Increased agility and resilience. The flexible framework helps the organization adapt quickly to change and manage risk effectively. Optimized costs. Eliminating waste, reducing rework, and making informed decisions about services optimize the total cost of ownership. Stakeholder key benefit real-world impact. Ultimately, ITIL 4 provides the map to transform IT from a source of cost and complexity into a genuine engine of value. It's about working smarter, together, with a clear line of sight from your daily tasks to the success of the business you support. That transformation starts with understanding the core concepts we've just explored, the foundation upon which everything else is built.
Chapter 2, The Heart of the Framework, the Service Value System, SVS. If Chapter 1 was about the why, understanding the need to transform chaos into value, then this chapter is about the how. We move from philosophy to architecture. The Service Value System, SVS, is that architecture. It's the operational blueprint that makes the ideals of ITIL for tangible and actionable. Sections 2.1 Visualizing the SVS, your blueprint for value creation. 2.2 The service value chain, the engine of activity. 2.3 Guiding principles, the mindset for success. 2.4 Governance, keeping everything on track. 2.5 Continual improvement, the never-ending journey. Think of it this way: you can have a brilliant vision for a house, the why, but without a detailed set of plans that show how the foundation, walls, electrical, and plumbing all interconnect, you'll never build it. The SVS is your complete set of plans for building and sustaining valuable IT services. It shows you how all the critical components fit and work together as a dynamic, adaptable whole. This chapter will guide you through each part of this blueprint. By the end, you'll see the SVS not as an abstract model, but as a practical lens through which to view and improve your own work. Section 2.1 Visualizing the SVS, your blueprint for value creation. The service value system is best understood visually. It's a holistic model that places the creation of value squarely at its center, surrounded by the 5 components that make it possible. At the very core, you have opportunity and demand. This is the catalyst. An opportunity is a chance to create value, like a new business project. Demand is the need for services, like a user submitting a ticket. The entire system exists to respond to these inputs. Encircling this core are the 5 components we'll explore in detail. 1. The guiding principles, the mindset. 2. The governance, the guardrails. 3. The service value chain, the engine. 4. Practices, the tools and resources. 5. Continual improvement, the heartbeat. All of this exists within an organization's unique context, influenced by its goals, culture, and regulatory environment. The genius of this model is its acknowledgement that these components are not a linear checklist. They constantly interact. The guiding principles shape how you use the practices. Governance oversees the service value chain. Continual improvement touches everything. It's a living system, not a static diagram. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing the ITIL for service value system. The image should be clean, modern, and schematic. In the center, a small circle labeled opportunity and demand. Surrounding it, 5 interconnected, colored segments arranged in a circle, like a pie chart or a circular diagram, labeled guiding principles, governance, service value chain, practices, continual improvement. A large, faint outer circle encloses the entire model, labeled organizational context. Use arrows or a subtle glow to show dynamic interaction between all components and the core. Style, flat vector design with a professional color palette, blues, greens, grays. Composition, balanced and symmetrical, emphasizing interconnection. For the service desk analyst, this means your daily ticket work is part of a larger value-creating ecosystem. For the project manager, it means your project is an opportunity that triggers this entire system. Seeing this big picture is your first step toward working within it intentionally. Section 2.2 The service value chain, the engine of activity. If the SVS is the entire factory, the service value chain is the production line. It's the central, flexible model for creating, delivering, and improving services. It breaks down all the activities your organization needs to perform into 6 key, interconnected streams of work. Don't memorize these as a sequence, instead, understand them as a set of activity modules you can plug together in almost any combination to address different needs. This flexibility is what makes ITIL for so adaptive. Here are the 6 value chain activities. Plan, this is about alignment. It ensures a shared vision, direction, and improvement across all 4 dimensions of service management. Improve, this is about being better. It embeds continual improvement at every level of products, services, practices, and across all 4 dimensions. Engage, this is about relationships. It encompasses all interactions with stakeholders, from understanding needs to building relationships and managing communications. Design and transition, this is about making it real. It ensures products and services meet stakeholder expectations and are delivered effectively into operation. Obtain build, this is about resources. It focuses on acquiring or developing the components needed for services, whether building software or procuring hardware. Deliver and support, this is about execution. It makes services available to users as agreed, manages incidents and requests, and handles user feedback. For example, fulfilling a standard user request, like access to an application, might primarily engage the deliver and support activity. Launching a new company-wide service, however, would require you to dynamically weave through plan, engage with stakeholders, design and transition, obtain build, the solution, and deliver and support, the rollout. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram illustrating the flexibility of the service value chain. Show the 6 activity blocks: plan, improve, engage, design and transition, obtain build, deliver and support, as distinct, modular shapes, like puzzle pieces or hexagonal modules. Depict 3 different colored flow lines weaving through them in different, non-linear patterns. One flow might go engage -plan -design and transition -deliver and support. Another might go plan -obtain a build -improve -deliver and support. This visually demonstrates they are not a fixed sequence. Style, simple, flowchart-like with clear icons for each activity. Composition, dynamic, showing movement and multiple pathways. The chain turns the potential of an opportunity into the reality of a valuable service. It's the engine because it's where the work gets done. Section 2.3, Guiding Principles, the Mindset for Success. Processes and activities are useless without the right mindset to guide them. The 7 guiding principles are the enduring, core messages of ITIL 4. They are not rules, but recommendations that can be applied in any situation, from strategic planning to a daily troubleshooting call. These principles are what help you make good decisions when the procedure manual is silent. Let's translate them into actionable professional wisdom. Focus on value. Everything you do should ultimately tie back to creating value for your customers, users, and the organization. Always ask, who is the beneficiary and what is valuable to them? Start where you are, do not blindly rip and replace. Appreciate and assess your current services, processes, and tools. Use what works as your foundation for improvement. Progress iteratively with feedback, avoid massive, risky big bang projects. Break work into smaller, manageable chunks, deliver, get feedback, and adjust. This is agile and DevOps thinking embedded in the framework. Collaborate and promote visibility. Silos are the enemy of value. Work across teams and share information. When work is visible, bottlenecks can be found and trust is built. Think and work holistically. Remember the SVS. No service, process, or team exists in isolation. Consider how changes in one area will affect the whole system. Keep it simple and practical. If a process, report, or metric isn't serving a clear purpose, simplify or eliminate it. Use the minimum number of steps necessary to accomplish your goal. Optimize and automate. Before you automate, optimize the underlying process. Then, use technology to automate repetitive, manual tasks to free up human skill for complex judgment and collaboration. Author reflection. In my experience, teams that internalize start where you are and progress iteratively see the fastest, most sustainable gains. It prevents the paralysis of wanting a perfect future state and instead builds momentum through small, visible wins. Section 2.4, Governance, keeping everything on track. Governance is often misunderstood as red tape or management oversight. In the SVS, it has a more vital and positive role. It's the system that directs and controls the organization. If the service value chain is the engine, governance is the steering wheel, dashboard, and navigation system. Its primary function is to ensure that the organization's direction, policies, and strategy are being followed and that value is being created in a sustainable, risk-aware manner. It answers the question, are we doing the right things, and are we doing them the right way? Key governance activities include evaluating the organization's strategy, portfolios, and relationships. Asterisk directing through strategies, policies, and objectives. Asterisk monitoring performance, compliance, and conformance to policies. Think of it this way: a project team, using the service value chain, is building a new application. Governance is the function that ensured the project aligned with the business strategy in the first place, that it's being run within defined budgeting and risk frameworks, and that leadership receives regular reports on its progress against goals. Good governance isn't a bottleneck, it's what prevents wasted effort on misaligned activities and protects the organization from undue risk. It provides the necessary guardrails for high-speed delivery. Section 2.5, Continual Improvement, the Never-Ending Journey. Continual improvement is the heartbeat of the SVS, and it's woven into every component, not stuck in a separate initiative. It's the persistent, organization-wide focus on making things better, no matter how small the gain. ITIL provides a robust, yet simple, model for embedding this mindset, the continual improvement model. This is a practical, closed-loop cycle you can apply to anything, from a single process to the entire service portfolio. The power of this model is in its discipline. It forces you to start with the why, the vision, and a clear-eyed assessment of your current state before jumping to solutions. How many times have we seen teams buy a new tool, step 5, take action, without having done steps 1 to 4? The result is often a costly shelfware product. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram of the ITIL for continual improvement model. Show a circular cycle with 7 clearly numbered steps. 1. What is the vision? Business vision, goals, objectives. 2. Where are we now? Baseline assessment. 3. Where do we want to be? Measurable targets. 4. How do we get there? Plan of action. 5. Take action. Execute the plan. 6. Did we get there? Evaluate metrics and feedback. 7. How do we keep the momentum going? Embed, reassess. The cycle should be depicted as an arrow flowing from step 7 back to step 1, emphasizing it's a perpetual loop. Style, clean, circular flowchart. Composition, easy to follow, with each step in a distinct segment. Remember, improvement doesn't always mean a major transformation. Streamlining a cumbersome approval, clarifying a communication template, or automating a single data entry task are all valid improvements. The goal is to create a culture where everyone is empowered to ask, how could this be better, and has a clear model to follow. You now hold the blueprint. The service value system shows you how the mindset, principles, the oversight, governance, the work, value chain and practices, and the evolution, continual improvement, all interconnect to transform demand into value. This holistic view is what separates ITIL from a simple list of best practices. In the next chapter, we'll zoom in from this architectural view to explore the concrete practices, the specific sets of resources and activities like incident management or service desk that you use within this system to get the daily work done.
Chapter 3, Your Guiding Compass, the 7 ITIL Principles. In the previous chapter, we explored the service value system, the architectural blueprint for creating value. It's a powerful model, but a blueprint alone isn't enough to guide your daily decisions. You need a mindset, a way of thinking that informs every action you take, whether you're designing a new service, resolving a major incident, or automating a routine task. Sections. Section 3.1. Start where you are, leveraging what already works. Section 3.2. Progress iteratively with feedback, small steps, big impact. Section 3.3. Focus on value. Everything begins and ends with the consumer. Section 3.4. Collaborate and promote visibility, breaking down silos. Section 3.5. Think and work holistically, seeing the whole picture. Section 3.6. Keep it simple and practical, avoiding needless complexity. Section 3.7. Optimize and automate, doing more with less effort. That's where the ITIL guiding principles come in. Think of them not as rules, but as your professional compass. When the map is unclear or the path forks, these 7 principles provide the directional wisdom to help you choose the right way forward. They are the connective tissue between the SVS's structure and the practical, human work you do every day. This chapter will translate each principle from a concept into a clear, actionable lens for your work. We'll move from theory to practice, equipping you with a mindset that turns the ITIL 4 framework from something you implement into something you live. Section 3.1. Start where you are, leveraging what already works. The most common mistake in adopting any new framework is the blank slate approach, the assumption that you must scrap everything and start from zero. This is not only demoralizing for your team, but it's also incredibly wasteful. You already have assets, processes, and knowledge. The key is to see them clearly and build from there. Start where you are is an antidote to disruptive, big bang change. It's a principle of respect for the work already done, for the services currently running, and for the people who keep the lights on. Your first step is never to tear down, it's to conduct an honest, objective assessment. Ask these questions: what processes almost work? Which manual workaround demonstrates a hidden need for automation? What does your incident data tell you about where stability is strongest? This isn't about listing failures, it's about taking an inventory of your current capital, both tangible and intangible, and using it as your foundation. I've seen teams waste months designing a perfect new process, only to find their users clung to the old, familiar way because it solved a problem the new design ignored. This principle saves you from that. It grounds your improvement ambitions in reality, ensuring every step forward is built on solid ground, not theoretical sand. Figure: extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a build versus integrate concept. On the left, a team looks frustrated, dismantling a complex, functioning gear system labeled current state. On the right, a confident team is building an enhanced, streamlined system by connecting new, shiny components directly onto the existing, solid gears. The visual style should be clean, isometric tech illustration with a clear narrative flow from chaos to purposeful evolution. Section 3.2. Progress iteratively with feedback, small steps, big impact. Our industry is haunted by the specter of the multi-year project that delivers an obsolete solution. Progress iteratively with feedback is how you exorcise that ghost. It recognizes that you cannot perfectly predict the future, so you shouldn't try to build for it all at once. Instead, break down large initiatives into manageable, tangible chunks. Each chunk is a complete cycle. Plan a small improvement, do it, check the results through direct feedback, and act to adjust. This is the essence of the iterative loop. The goal of each iteration isn't to deliver the final product, but to learn, to validate assumptions, and to reduce risk. Consider a service catalog rollout. The monolithic approach would be to define every possible service, build the entire portal, train everyone, and launch in one overwhelming go-live. The iterative approach? Start with the 2 most requested services. Build a simple intake for them, deploy it to a pilot group, and gather feedback. Learn what the portal really needs, then iterate, adding more services and refining the experience based on real use. Hash a simple iterative feedback loop in practice. Current_process equals assess_current_state, incident triage. For iteration in range, 1, 4. Improvement equals design_small_change, current_process, iteration. Updated_process equals implement_change, improvement. Feedback equals gather_metrics_and_user_input, updated_process. Current_process equals integrate_feedback, updated_process, feedback. Print, F iteration, reduced handoffs by, feedback, handoff_reduction, %. This rhythm of small steps and continuous feedback creates momentum, demonstrates value quickly, and builds organizational trust. It turns a daunting transformation into a series of confident, successful wins. Section 3.3. Focus on value. Everything begins and ends with the consumer. This is the cornerstone principle. Every activity, process, decision, and investment in IT must be traceable back to one question: what value does this create for our consumers and stakeholders? Value is not what we think we're providing, it's the perceived benefits, usefulness, and importance from the consumer's perspective. It's easy to become internally focused, to optimize for IT metrics like server uptime or ticket closure speed. But 99.9% uptime means little if the application is unusably slow for the end user. A ticket closed in 5 minutes is not a success if the user's actual problem wasn't solved. To apply this, you must become a translator. Translate technical actions into consumer outcomes. Don't say, "We deployed a new firewall rule." Say, "We secured our customer payment portal to protect their data and maintain their trust." This shift in language forces a shift in thinking. Internal IT view, consumer value view. Remember the chaos we discussed in Chapter 1? A relentless focus on value is what transforms that chaos into a coherent stream of outcomes that matter. It aligns your entire SVS, ensuring every component is oriented toward co-creating value with those you serve. Section 3.4. Collaborate and promote visibility, breaking down silos. No service is created, delivered, or improved in isolation. The era of the heroic IT silo is over. Complex value streams cut across development, operations, security, procurement, and the business units themselves. Collaborate and promote visibility is about actively breaking down the walls that hide information, duplicate effort, and create friction. Collaboration is more than just working together. It's a deliberate practice of shared goals, open communication, and joint accountability. It means involving security early in the design phase, not at the end for an audit. It means having a product manager from the business sit with the operations team during a major incident. Visibility is the fuel for effective collaboration. When work, priorities, and progress are visible to all involved parties, trust increases and misunderstandings decrease. Use tools like shared dashboards, program boards, or service maps not just for reporting, but as a single source of truth that everyone can see and discuss. When you promote visibility, you turn hidden dependencies into shared understanding. You stop the blame game and start the problem-solving game. This principle operationalizes the idea that value is a team sport, and winning requires everyone to see the same playbook. Figure. Extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing the contrast between siloed and collaborative workflows. The left side shows separate, opaque vertical towers, dev, ops, security, business, throwing work over the wall to the next, with red X marks at each handoff. The right side shows the same groups in a circle, with a transparent, central hub displaying a service map. Arrows of information and work flow freely between all groups, connected through the hub. Style, modern, flat design with clear metaphorical contrast. Section 3.5. Think and work holistically, seeing the whole picture. While the previous principle focuses on people and teams, think and work holistically focuses on the system itself. It warns against optimizing one part of a service or process at the expense of the whole. A change that speeds up software deployment, great for dev, could overwhelm the support desk if not accompanied by training and documentation, a problem for ops. To work holistically, you must constantly zoom out. See your service not as a collection of independent components, servers, code, a help desk, but as an integrated product that a user experiences from end to end. How does a new feature affect capacity, support, training, and commercial agreements? The SVS from Chapter 2 is your tool for this. It forces you to consider how a change ripples through governance, practices, and the continual improvement engine. Ask yourself, what are the unintended consequences of this decision, and whose work have I not considered? This mindset prevents local efficiencies from creating global failures. It's the difference between being a technician who manages servers and a service professional who manages outcomes. Section 3.6. Keep it simple and practical, avoiding needless complexity. Complexity is the silent killer of productivity and agility. It creeps in with every exception, every special case process, and every feature added just in case. The keep it simple and practical principle is your call to arms against this creep. It champions minimum viable process, just enough control to be effective, and no more. Before creating a new process, form, or approval step, ask, what value does this step add for the consumer? If the answer is unclear or internal focused, it makes us feel more in control, challenge its necessity. Often, we build complexity to mitigate past failures, creating bureaucracy that punishes everyone for the mistakes of a few. Simplicity is not about being simplistic. It's about elegant efficiency. It's designing a service request portal so intuitive that training isn't needed. It's having a single, clear escalation path instead of 3 different ones based on obscure criteria. A practical, simple solution that gets used is infinitely more valuable than a perfect, complex one that people work around. Embrace this mantra. If you can't explain it simply to a new team member in 2 minutes, it's probably too complex. Your goal is to remove friction, not to document it. Section 3.7. Optimize and automate, doing more with less effort. This final principle brings a powerful, 1-2 punch to your improvement efforts. The sequence is critical. You must optimize and automate, in that order. Automating a broken or inefficient process just gives you faster bad results, a bad robot. First, optimize. Use the other principles to streamline the process, eliminate waste, waiting, handoffs, rework, and ensure it's as simple and valuable as possible. Is the approval truly necessary? Can we reduce these 8 steps to 3? Optimization is about human-centric design. Then, automate. Look for the repetitive, mundane, rule-based tasks that consume human time and creativity. Free your team from toil so they can focus on collaboration, complex problem-solving, and activities that truly require human judgment. Automation is a force multiplier for your optimized processes. Hash the correct sequence, optimize *, then * automate. Def manage _incident, incident. Hash step 1, optimize the human process. Optimized _steps equals remove redundant approvals, incident. Optimized steps equals standardize categorization, optimized steps. Hash step 2, automate the repetitive parts. If is standard issue, optimized steps. Return run automated remediation script, optimized steps. Else. Return root to specialist, optimized steps, hash human judgment. This principle isn't about replacing people. It's about elevating their work. It asks, where is our brainpower best spent, and uses technology to handle the rest, creating a more engaging, effective, and sustainable IT organization. These 7 principles are your constant companions on your ITIL 4 journey. They won't give you a checklist, but they will give you clarity. Before any significant decision, run it through this compass. Are we starting from our current reality? Are we progressing in small steps? Does this focus on value? Have we collaborated? Are we thinking holistically? Is this the simplest approach? Have we optimized before automating? Internalize them. They are the key to moving from merely using ITIL 4 to thinking in a way that naturally creates value. With this compass in hand, you're ready to explore the specific capabilities that bring it all to life, the ITIL 4 practices, which we'll cover next.
Chapter 4, The 4 Dimensions of Service Management. In our journey so far, we've built a powerful foundation. We've shifted our mindset from chaos to value, explored the architectural blueprint of the service value system, and equipped ourselves with the 7 guiding principles for decision-making. Now, we face a critical question: where do we apply this wisdom? How do we ensure our brilliant plans and principles don't fail when they meet the complex reality of people, technology, and daily work? Section 4.1, Organizations and People, the Culture and Competencies Required. Section 4.2, Information and Technology, the Tools and Data that Enable Services. Section 4.3, Partners and Suppliers, Mastering Your External Relationships. Section 4.4, Value Streams and Processes, How Work Actually Gets Done. This is the purpose of the 4 dimensions of service management. They are not a checklist, but a holistic lens, a way to examine any service, initiative, or problem from all critical angles to ensure nothing is overlooked. Forgetting even one dimension is like a pilot ignoring the fuel gauge. You might have a great plane and a clear destination, but you won't get far. The 4 dimensions ensure a balanced approach. They remind us that successful service management is never just about the technology or just about the process. It's about the integration of all these elements. Let's explore each dimension, not as isolated silos, but as interconnected pillars that hold up the service value you deliver. Section 4.1 Organizations and People, the Culture and Competencies Required. The most elegant process and the most powerful technology are worthless without the right people, working within an effective organizational structure, and guided by a supportive culture. This dimension puts the human element at the center, because services are ultimately delivered by and for people. It challenges the old, narrow view of IT versus the business. Instead, it focuses on creating a collaborative service culture where everyone understands how their role contributes to value. This means considering formal reporting lines, but also the informal networks, skills, competencies, and attitudes that truly make work flow. Culture, the invisible operating system. Every organization has a culture, an unwritten set of rules that governs behavior. Is it a culture of blame, where people hide mistakes? Or is it a culture of continuous improvement, where learning from failure is celebrated? ITIL for advocates for the latter. A positive service culture fosters collaboration, transparency, and a shared focus on customer outcomes. For example, if your guiding principle is a collaborate and promote visibility, but your culture punishes interdepartmental communication, that principle will die on the vine. Culture change starts with leadership, but it's sustained by every team member who chooses to share information, ask for help, and give credit to others. Competencies and roles, beyond the job description. Having people isn't enough, they need the right skills and clear expectations. This dimension asks, do our people have the technical and soft skills required? Are roles and responsibilities clearly defined and understood? Consider a service desk analyst. Their competency isn't just about logging tickets. It's about communication, empathy, problem solving, and understanding the business impact of an issue. A well-defined role clarifies their authority, their place in the value stream, and their path for growth. Investing in training and professional development isn't an expense, it's the essential maintenance of your most critical asset, your team. Author's reflection, early in my career, I saw a process perfection, a project fail spectacularly. We had mapped every workflow in detail but completely ignored the team's fear of the new system and their lack of training. We addressed the process dimension flawlessly but failed the organizations and people dimension. The lesson was indelible, always start with the people. Figure, AI-ready prompt for a split circle diagram. Left side, formal structure with icons for org chart, job descriptions, and RACI matrix. Right side, informal culture with icons for people collaborating, a light bulb for ideas, and a speech bubble for communication. Arrows connect both halves to a central icon of a shining trophy labeled value. Style, modern flat infographic, professional color palette, clear labels. Section 4.2, Information and Technology, the tools and data that enable services. This dimension is often the first place IT professionals feel at home. It encompasses the information, knowledge, and technologies required for the management and delivery of services. But be careful, its purpose is not to worship technology for technology's sake. Its purpose is to ask, how do our tools and data enable the creation, delivery, and improvement of value? This includes everything from the obvious, servers, networks, monitoring software, to the crucial but sometimes overlooked, the service knowledge management system, configuration management database, analytics platforms, and even the information exchanged in a simple email. Information, the lifeblood of decision-making. Data is raw numbers. Information is data in context, and it fuels every good decision in service management. Is the information from our incident reports accurate and complete enough to identify root causes? Does our service catalog provide clear, accessible information to users? This dimension forces us to evaluate the quality, security, and availability of the information we depend on. For instance, the practice of incident management relies on information about previous solutions, known errors. If that information is buried in a poorly managed spreadsheet, resolution times will suffer. The technology, a tool, must support the effective management of the information. Technology, automation as a force multiplier. Technology should automate repetitive tasks, provide insights through analytics, and connect people and processes. The key question is alignment. Does your technology strategy support your service strategy? Implementing a flashy new AIOps platform is wasteful if it doesn't address a core need like reducing mean time to resolution, MTTR, for high-impact incidents. Look for technology that enhances the other dimensions. Can your tooling improve collaboration, people dimension, with integrated chat ops? Can it streamline a value stream, a process dimension, through automated approvals and workflows? // example to simple conceptual filter for technology decisions. If new technology aligns with service strategy and new technology supports value streams and new technology enhances user experience and new technology integrates with existing info. Proceed to business case. Else? Re-evaluate. Section 4.3, Partners and Suppliers, Mastering Your External Relationships. No organization is an island. Very few, if any, deliver every component of their services entirely in-house. This dimension focuses on the relationships with all the external entities, partners, vendors, cloud providers, outsourcers, that contribute to your value streams. The goal is to move from a transactional buyer-seller relationship to strategic partnerships that create mutual value. A cloud outage at your provider is your service outage. Their cybersecurity failure is your risk. This dimension is about proactive management of that ecosystem. From contracts to collaboration. A contract defines the legal and financial boundaries, but a partnership defines the collaborative spirit. Are your suppliers aligned with your service levels and customer experience goals? Do you have regular strategic reviews, or only conversations when something goes wrong? Effective partner management involves clear agreements like SLAs and OLAs, but also joint planning, transparent communication, and integrated processes. For example, your incident management process must seamlessly integrate with your cloud provider's support process to avoid ticket ping-pong when a major incident occurs. Relationship type focus key question. Building a resilient ecosystem. Diversification and risk management are part of this dimension. Over-reliance on a single supplier is a strategic vulnerability. This dimension encourages you to map your supplier landscape, understand the criticality of each, and develop plans to ensure continuity, whether through multi-sourcing, clear exit strategies, or joint disaster recovery testing. Section 4.4, Value Streams and Processes, How Work Actually Gets Done. This is the dimension of action. It answers the question, what specific steps are taken to deliver and maintain a service? A value stream is the end-to-end series of steps that create value for a stakeholder. A process is a set of interrelated activities that transform inputs into outputs. Together, they represent the workflow dimension of service management. While the guiding principles give you direction, value streams and processes are the specific roads you travel. They are where the other three dimensions, people, technology, and partners, come together to produce results. Mapping the journey from demand to value. Every service has a value stream. For example, that employee onboarding value stream might trigger a request, which flows through access provisioning, hardware setup, software installation, and welcome communication. Mapping this stream visually, often called value stream mapping, is a powerful way to identify waste, delays, and handoff errors. The key is to design these streams around the customer's experience and the desired outcome, not around internal departmental convenience. Is the stream efficient? Is it effective? Does it have clear triggers, outputs, and metrics for success? The role of ITIL practices. Figure, AI-ready prompt for a horizontal value stream map for the resolve standard user request. Stages: 1. Request submitted, user. 2. Automated validation and routing, tech. 3. Fulfillment, IT staffed partner. 4. Quality check, process. 5. Notification and closure, people. Show clock icons for cycle time at each stage and a waste bin icon for a bottleneck at stage 3. Style, linear flowchart with swim lanes, clean and professional. ITIL 4's 34 management practices, like incident, change, problem management, are the reusable process assets you plug into your value streams. You don't do incident management in a vacuum. You integrate the incident management practice into your restore service value stream. This dimension ensures your processes are not isolated rituals but connected components of a flowing stream of work. Bringing it all together, imagine improving the resolve major incident value stream. You need skilled staff with clear roles, people, using a collaborative war room tool and real-time data, information and technology, who can seamlessly conference in a third-party network expert, partners, all while following a well-designed major incident process, value streams. Optimizing one dimension while neglecting the others leads to suboptimal results. True excellence requires a balanced view through all four lenses. By consistently applying the lens of the 4 dimensions, you ensure a robust, resilient, and holistic approach to service management. It's your safeguard against blind spots and your blueprint for building services that deliver real, sustainable value.
Chapter 5, Core Practices for Daily Success, Part 1. We've equipped ourselves with a powerful toolkit, the value-focused mindset, the blueprint of the service value system, the guiding principles for decision-making, and the 4-dimensional lens for holistic thinking. Now, it's time to get practical. What do you actually do on a Monday morning? Sections: Section 5.1, Incident Management, Restoring Normal Service Fast. Section 5.2, Problem Management, Finding and Fixing Root Causes. Section 5.3, Service Request Management, Handling Routine User Needs. Section 5.4, Service Desk, the single point of contact for users. This chapter introduces the first set of core practices that bring ITIL 4 to life in your daily work. These aren't abstract concepts, they are the essential, repeatable routines that transform reactive firefighting into proactive, valuable service. They are how you apply the compass of the principles and the structure of the SVS to the real-world scenarios you face every single day. Think of these practices as the core applications on your phone. You might have a beautiful, powerful device, the SVS, but its real value comes from the well-designed apps you use to communicate, navigate, and get work done. Let's install and master the first 4. 5.1, Incident Management, Restoring Normal Service Fast. An incident is any unplanned interruption to a service or reduction in its quality. The server crashes, the CRM system slows to a crawl, a user can't print. These are the daily realities of IT. Incident management is not about fixing the root cause. Its sole, focused goal is to restore normal service operation as quickly as possible to minimize business impact. This practice embodies the principle of focus on value. The immediate value for the user is getting back to work. A swift, empathetic, and effective restoration of service builds trust and demonstrates its direct contribution to business productivity. The workflow is a disciplined prioritization engine. Every incident is logged, categorized, and prioritized based on its urgency, how fast it needs to be fixed, and impact, how many users or critical services are affected. This ensures your team's effort is always aligned with business need, not just the loudest voice. A major incident, a network outage affecting an entire office, triggers a separate, high-visibility process with dedicated communication channels. Remember the dimension of partners and suppliers. During a major incident, you might immediately engage a cloud provider or hardware vendor. Effective incident management coordinates these resources seamlessly. Figure: extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a clear, linear yet cyclical workflow for incident management. The diagram should have distinct, labeled boxes for incident identification and logging, categorization and prioritization, initial diagnosis, escalation, if needed, resolution, and closure. A prominent feedback arrow loops from closure back to identification, emphasizing continuous learning. Style: clean, modern infographic with a limited color palette using blues and greens. Lighting: flat, clear design for easy readability. Composition: left to right flow with the feedback loop visually distinct at the bottom. The practice closes with documenting the resolution. This record is vital, not as bureaucracy, but as fuel for our next practice. It's the first clue in a deeper investigation. 5.2 Problem Management: Finding and Fixing Root Causes. If incident management is the emergency room, problem management is the diagnostic clinic. A problem is the underlying, often unknown cause of one or more incidents. While incidents are symptoms, problems are the disease. This practice asks the simple, powerful question: why did this happen, and how can we stop it from happening again? This is where we move from reactive to proactive, directly supporting the principle of progress iteratively with feedback. Problem management systematically analyzes incident data, looking for patterns: that same application crashing every Friday afternoon, multiple users reporting similar network timeouts from one building. A critical distinction is the known error. Once the root cause of a problem is diagnosed, it becomes a known error. The team then can devise a permanent fix, a workaround to mitigate future incidents quickly, or decide to accept the risk. Documenting known errors and workarounds supercharges your service desk, allowing them to resolve recurring incidents in minutes instead of hours. Consider the organizations and people dimension here. Effective problem management often requires bringing together developers, system architects, and network engineers who don't normally work together. It creates a collaborative space for deep technical problem solving, breaking down silos in pursuit of a more stable service environment. Figure: extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing the symbiotic relationship between incident and problem management. On the left, a cluster of incident bubbles, smaller, in a color like orange, flow into a central problem bubble, larger, in a color like red. Arrows from the problem bubble lead to outputs like known error record, workaround, and change request. Style: conceptual and interconnected, using overlapping bubbles and arrows. Lighting: soft shadows to create depth. Composition: emphasize the many-to-one relationship of incidents to problems, and the proactive outputs generated. The ultimate output of this practice is often a change request to permanently remove the error. By preventing incidents, problem management saves enormous future effort, reduces cost, and improves user experience. It's the ultimate practice of working smarter. 5.3 Service Request Management: Handling Routine User Needs. Not every user contact is an emergency. In fact, most aren't. A service request is a predefined, routine request for a standard service or action. I need a new laptop, please add me to the project SharePoint site, can you reset my password? Service request management is the process for handling these requests efficiently and consistently. It's the practice that turns what could be chaotic ad hoc favors into a streamlined, user-friendly service catalog experience. This practice is a direct expression of the principle: keep it simple and practical. The goal is to make it easy for users to get what they need and easy for IT to deliver it. The magic lies in predefinition and automation. Each type of service request has a pre-approved workflow, agreed-upon delivery timelines, and often, predefined approval steps. Password resets can be fully automated, new software requests can be routed to a manager for approval and then to an automated deployment tool. Request type example: typical workflow potential for automation. By channeling these routine demands into a standardized process, you free up your team's cognitive bandwidth for the complex, value-add work of problem-solving and innovation. It also provides users with clarity and predictability. They know what to expect and when. 5.4 Service Desk: the single point of contact for users. The service desk is not just a practice, it is the most visible embodiment of the entire ITIL framework for your users. It is the single point of contact, SPOC, between the service provider and users. Its role is crucial: to capture demand, incidents and service requests, provide communication, and restore service as quickly as possible. Think of the value streams and processes dimension. The service desk is a critical activity in almost every value stream related to user support. Its design directly affects the efficiency of those streams and the user's perception of value. A poorly designed desk creates friction, a great one creates flow. An effective service desk is defined by its channels, phone, email, chat, portal, its hours, 24/7 or business hours, and its technical reach, local, centralized, virtual. But beyond structure, its success hinges on culture and skills. Analysts need technical skill, but equally important are empathy, communication, and a service-oriented mindset. They are the ambassadors of IT. This practice integrates all the others. The service desk analyst logs the incident, checks for a known error from problem management, fulfills the standard service request, and communicates the status of a major incident. They are the orchestrators, using the tools and information provided by the other practices to deliver a cohesive experience. Ultimately, a high-performing service desk builds trust. It turns IT from a mysterious, sometimes frustrating entity into a reliable, accessible, and helpful partner. It's where the theory of value creation meets the human being on the other end of the phone. In our next chapter, we'll continue building your daily toolkit with practices focused on controlling change, managing assets, and ensuring continuous improvement. You'll see how these pieces interconnect to form a complete, resilient operating model for modern IT.
Chapter 6, Core Practices for Daily Success, Part 2. In the previous chapter, we rolled up our sleeves and dove into the practices that manage the daily flow of work, handling user requests, fixing what's broken, and controlling the assets we depend on. These are the essential rhythms of IT service delivery. Section 6.1, Change Enablement, Implementing Change Safely. Section 6.2, Service Level Management, Defining and Delivering on Promises. Section 6.3, Continual Improvement, Making it a Daily Habit. Section 6.4, Information Security Management, Protecting Your Services. But what about the practices that shape the context of that work? The ones that ensure our daily actions are safe, trustworthy, and constantly evolving for the better? That's where we turn our focus now. This chapter explores the strategic enablers and protective disciplines. We'll cover the practices that govern how we introduce change without causing chaos, how we build and maintain trust through clear agreements, how we embed a habit of improvement into our DNA, and how we protect everything we do from ever-evolving threats. These are the practices that move us from being merely operational to being truly resilient and valuable. Section 6.1, Change Enablement, Implementing Change Safely. Every improvement, every fix, every new feature starts with a change. Yet, for many IT professionals, the word change triggers anxiety. We've all seen a minor update crash a critical system at the worst possible time. The goal of change enablement is not to stop change, but to make it a reliable vehicle for innovation, not a source of fear. Think of it as the air traffic control system for your IT landscape. Planes, changes, need to take off and land constantly to create value. Air traffic control doesn't say no flying. Instead, it provides a standardized, safe process for coordinating all that movement, ensuring no two planes collide and each one reaches its destination safely. Your changes are those planes, and your services and users are the busy city below. The core mechanism is the change authority. This isn't necessarily a single person, it's a defined role or group assigned the accountability to authorize a change based on its risk and impact. This is a direct application of the principle collaborate and promote visibility, making decision-making clear and inclusive. Not all changes are created equal. ITIL advocates for a streamlined, risk-based approach. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a clear, modern flowchart. On the left, 3 types of changes flow in: standard, green, fast-tracked, normal, blue, flowing through steps, and emergency, red, a separate accelerated path. The normal change flows through 4 clear boxes: create and assess, authorize by change authority, implement, and review. The change authority box is highlighted. The visual style is clean, with thin lines and soft colors, using icons like a clipboard for assessment and a shield for authorization. Lighting is even and professional. Standard changes. These are your pre-authorized, low-risk, repeatable changes. Think of resetting a password or provisioning a standard virtual machine. The process is documented and approved once, then executed quickly without needing fresh authorization every single time. This is optimize and automate in action. Normal changes. This is the process for most changes, a new software deployment, a network configuration update. They follow the full workflow: proposal, assessment, authorization by the change authority, implementation, and review. Emergency changes. For resolving a major incident or addressing a critical security patch, a separate, expedited process is used. It still requires authorization, often by a designated emergency change authority, and must be reviewed post-implementation, but the red tape is cut for speed. Here's a simple table to contrast them. Change type risk profile authorization process example. The magic of a mature change enablement practice is that it builds organizational confidence. When the business knows that changes are managed with care, they become more willing to innovate. You shift the narrative from IT always says no to IT helps us implement new ideas safely. Section 6.2, Service Level Management, Defining and Delivering on Promises. Service Level Management, SLM, is the practice of setting clear, realistic expectations and then consistently meeting them. It's the foundation of trust between the service provider and the customer. Without it, you're left with vague assumptions. The system should be fast, which inevitably lead to frustration on both sides. This practice brings tangible clarity to the concept of co-created value we discussed earlier. Value isn't a vague feeling, it's experienced through specific, agreed-upon outcomes. SLM makes those outcomes explicit. The primary tool is the Service Level Agreement, SLA. An SLA is a formal, negotiated document that documents agreed-upon service targets. Crucially, it is a promise to a customer. It should be written in clear business language, not technical jargon. A well-crafted SLA focuses on a few key, meaningful metrics rather than an overwhelming list. Common metrics include: availability. The CRM system will be available for use 99.5% of the time during business hours, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Service desk response time. All priority 1 incidents will receive an initial response from the service desk within 15 minutes. Request fulfillment time. Standard software installation requests will be completed within 4 business hours. But an SLA doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's supported by 2 other critical agreements: Operational Level Agreement, OLA, and Internal Agreement between IT teams. If the SLA promises a 4-hour software install, the OLA defines what the desktop support team and the software licensing team promise each other to make that happen. It's about internal handshakes. Underpinning contract. UC, a formal contract with an external supplier. If part of your service relies on a cloud provider, the UC with that provider underpins your ability to meet your own SLA. The real work of SLM is ongoing service review meetings. This is where you move from just reporting metrics to having a conversation about value. You sit down with customers, or their representatives, and ask, "We hit 99.5% availability, but did that support your sales team's quarterly push effectively? Are these still the right metrics for your goals next quarter?" This active dialogue is the engine of continual improvement and true partnership. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a simple, layered pyramid. The top layer is labeled SLA, promise to the customer. It is supported by the middle layer, OLA, internal team promises, which is in turn supported by the bottom layer, UC, supplier promises. Arrows show the support relationship. The style is minimalist with solid colors, using icons of a handshake for SLA, gears for OLA, and a contract for UC. Section 6.3, Continual Improvement, Making it a Daily Habit. Continual improvement is the practice that ties all others together. It's the conscious, embedded habit of asking, How can this be better, after everything you do? It's the antidote to stagnation and the catalyst for evolving value. Remember the principle: progress iteratively with feedback. This is the practice that institutionalizes it. Many organizations treat improvement as a separate, occasional project, a transformation initiative that happens every few years. ITIL argues it must be a daily mindset, woven into the fabric of every process, every team meeting, and every individual's approach to work. To make this tangible, ITIL offers the continual improvement model, a simple but powerful cycle you can apply to anything, from a single process to an entire service portfolio. Let's break down how to use this model in a team setting. Figure: extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a circular, 6-step flowchart arranged in a clockwise cycle. The steps are: 1. What is the vision? A light bulb icon. 2. Where are we now? A map pin. 3. Where do we want to be? A flag. 4. How do we get there? A winding road. 5. Take action, a gear in motion. 6. Did we get there? A check mark. The cycle then arrows back to the where are we now. The design is clean and modern with a single accent color for the icons and arrows on a light background. What is the vision? Align with organizational goals. Our vision is to be a partner that enables rapid business innovation. Where are we now? Be honest and data-driven. Our current normal change process takes 10 days on average, which the product team says slows their deployments. Where do we want to be? Set a specific, achievable target. We want to reduce the average lead time for a normal change to 5 business days within the next quarter. How do we get there? Brainstorm actions. We could introduce a weekly change advisory board instead of bi-weekly, create better templates for change proposals, and automate the risk assessment checklist for common change types. Take action. Assign owners and execute. You own the board schedule, I'll own the template update, and let's task our automation specialist with the checklist. Did we get there? Measure and review. After 3 months, our average is down to 6 days. Good progress. Let's analyze the remaining bottleneck. The most important step is the last one. It closes the loop, turning a one-off project into a true cycle of learning. Celebrate the win, learn from the shortfall, and immediately ask, okay, now where are we? This creates a rhythm of perpetual, incremental progress that compounds into significant transformation over time. Section 6.4, Information Security Management, Protecting Your Services. Information security management is the practice of ensuring the confidentiality, integrity, and availability, often called the CIA triad, of an organization's information, data, and services. In our interconnected world, this is not a niche concern for specialists, it's a fundamental aspect of every service and every practice we've discussed. Think of it as the immune system for the service value system. A healthy immune system doesn't stop you from living your life, it works continuously in the background to identify and neutralize threats, allowing the body to function smoothly. Similarly, effective security isn't about saying no to everything, it's about enabling the organization to operate and innovate with managed risk. This practice must be balanced with the other dimensions, particularly organizations and people. The most sophisticated technical controls can be undone by a single well-meaning employee clicking a phishing link. Therefore, security is as much about culture and awareness as it is about firewalls and encryption. A key concept is the risk assessment, which should feel familiar. It's directly aligned with the principles of keep it simple and practical and think and work holistically. A basic assessment asks, what valuable asset are we protecting? E.g., customer payment data. What are the threats to it? E.g., data breach via a compromised vendor API. How vulnerable are we to that threat? E.g., the API uses weak authentication. What would be the business impact if it happened? E.g., financial loss, regulatory fines, reputational damage. What controls can we put in place to reduce the risk? e.g., implement multi-factor authentication for the API and conduct regular vendor security audits. Your role is to understand how security integrates into your daily work. As a service desk analyst, you are a frontline defender, following procedures to verify caller identity, confidentiality, and logging incidents accurately. Integrity. As a project manager, you are ensuring security requirements are baked into new services from the start, not bolted on at the end. As anyone involved in change enablement, you are a critical control point, assessing every change for potential security impact. Ultimately, this practice is about protecting the value you work so hard to create. It ensures that the trust built through service-level management isn't shattered by a breach, and that the improvements you drive aren't offset by catastrophic downtime. It's not a separate silo, it's a quality woven into the very fabric of service management. These 4 practices, change enablement, service-level management, continual improvement, and information security management, provide the governance, the trust building, the evolutionary drive, and the protective boundary for your daily operations. They complete the picture of a mature, resilient, and value-focused IT organization. Together with the practices from the previous chapter, you now have a robust toolkit for managing the full life cycle of services, from demand to improvement, with safety and clarity. You are moving from reacting to the work, to consciously shaping it.
Chapter 7. Creating Value Together, the Service Relationship Model. In the last 2 chapters, we mastered the core practices, the essential what and how of daily IT service management. We can handle incidents, manage changes, and fulfill requests with skill. But there's a vital question we haven't fully answered yet. Who are we doing all of this for, and with? Section 7.1, Service Provider, Service Consumer, and Stakeholder Roles. 7.2, Service Offerings, Products, Services, and Service Experiences. Point 3, Service Relationships, Navigating Co-creation and Consumption. All the brilliant architecture, guiding principles, and disciplined practices exist within a living ecosystem of relationships. Value is not created in a vacuum by a provider and handed over a wall. It is co-created through dynamic, ongoing interactions. This chapter shifts our lens from internal operations to the essential human and organizational connections that make value possible. Welcome to the Service Relationship Model. This is where ITIL 4's philosophy becomes personal. It's the framework that defines the roles, the offerings, and the nature of the partnership between those who provide services and those who consume them. Understanding this model is the key to moving from being a cost center to becoming a strategic partner. 7.1, Service Provider, Service Consumer, and Stakeholder Roles. Let's start by clearly defining the players on the field. Confusion about roles is a common source of friction, mismatched expectations, and wasted effort. Clarity here is the first step toward a healthy service relationship. The service provider is the organization or unit that delivers services. This could be an internal IT department, an external managed service provider, MSP, or a cloud company like AWS. Their role is to ensure the service is available, reliable, and capable of supporting the consumer's outcomes. The service consumer is the organization or individual who uses the services. Crucially, ITIL 4 breaks this role down into 3 distinct personas, as they often have different needs and perspectives. The customer, the entity that defines requirements, agrees on service levels, and pays for the service. They are focused on value and outcomes. The user, the person who uses the service day-to-day, e.g., an employee using the corporate email system. The sponsor, the person who authorizes the budget for the service. They are the financial decision maker. Imagine a company subscribes to a sales CRM platform. The customer is the company's sales leadership who negotiated the contract. The users are the sales representatives logging in daily. The sponsor is the CFO who approved the expenditure. The software company is the service provider. Each has a vested interest, but their view of value differs slightly. Beyond these core roles are stakeholders, any person or organization with an interest in the service. This includes regulators, suppliers, partners, and even internal teams like legal or finance. A complete view acknowledges all these influences. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a central service bubble. 3 arrows point to it from labeled icons: a customer, business person with a contract, a user, person at a computer, and a sponsor, person with a budget chart. A 4th arrow from a provider, server gear icon, connects to the service. The style should be clean, modern, and flat icon-based, emphasizing the distinct connections to a single service. Author reflection: early in my career, I saw a project fail because we designed a service for the user without ever consulting the customer who held the budget. We built what was technically elegant, not what delivered the business outcome they were paying for. Defining these roles isn't bureaucratic, it's about ensuring you're solving the right problem for the right person. 7.2 Service offerings, products, services, and service experiences. Now, what exactly is being exchanged in this relationship? A service provider doesn't just offer a thing. They present a service offering, which is a complex package of value. Breaking this down prevents the classic pitfall of equating a service with the technology that enables it. A service offering consists of 2 key components. Service. This is the core of the offering, the application of specialized competencies, like IT skills, to achieve an outcome for the customer without the customer having to own specific costs and risks. The service is the promise of a result. Goods, or products. These are the physical or digital items that are transferred from the provider to the consumer, and ownership is transferred. In IT, this could be hardware, a laptop, licensed software, a perpetual license, or even a cloud subscription that acts as a consumable product. The magic and the challenge lies in how these are combined. Let's look at a common offering through this lens. Service offering example: the goods, product, the service, the action and outcome. The service experience is the sum of all the interactions a customer and user have with the provider and its offerings. It's the support call, the invoice clarity, the portal usability, and the feeling of being heard. This experience is a fundamental part of the value proposition. A technically perfect service with a frustrating experience will not be perceived as valuable. 7.3 Service relationships, navigating co-creation and consumption. We have the roles defined and the offering unpacked. Now, let's examine the dynamic that connects them, the service relationship. This is the cooperative interaction between a service provider and service consumer. It includes service provision, the activities performed by the provider, service consumption, the activities performed by the consumer, and service relationship management, the joint activities that govern the relationship. The pivotal concept here is value co-creation. Value is not delivered like a pizza. It is co-created through active collaboration. The provider supplies resources and competencies, access to a secure network, expert support. The consumer supplies their own resources, time, and information, employees to use the system, business processes to integrate. The value, increased productivity, revenue, compliance emerges from this combined effort. This has profound implications. You cannot impose value. You can only offer the means for its co-creation. A brilliantly designed self-service portal has zero value if users don't know about it or choose not to use it. Consumption is an active process. Onboarding, training, and adoption are not afterthoughts. They are critical parts of the service lifecycle that the consumer must participate in. The relationship must be managed. This is the purpose of practices like service level management and relationship management. They establish the joint governance, communication, and feedback loops that keep the co-creation engine running smoothly. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing 2 columns labeled service provider and service consumer. Between them is a central circle labeled value. Arrows flow from both columns into the value circle, symbolizing co-creation. From the provider side, list items like resources, competencies, service management. From the consumer side, list items like business processes, user time, information. The visual should be dynamic, showing a 2-way flow, not a 1-way delivery. Putting it all together, Consider an IT department rolling out a new project management tool, the service offering. The service is enabling effective project delivery. The goods are the software licenses. The provider, IT, must offer training and integration support. The consumer, the business department, must define their workflows and ensure their staff use the tool. The value of on-time, on-budget projects only materializes when both parties fulfill their roles in the relationship. Mastering the service relationship model transforms your perspective. You stop asking, "Did the system stay up?" and start asking, "Did our users achieve their goals with it?" This shift is the hallmark of a true service management professional and the foundation of a strategic IT organization.
Chapter 8: Mapping the Journey, Value Streams and Processes. We've built a powerful understanding of the why, principles, the where, dimensions, the how, practices, and the who, relationships, of service management. Now, we face a critical, practical challenge: how do we string all these elements together into a coherent, efficient flow of work that reliably delivers value? How do we move from having all the right parts to having a well-oiled machine? Sections 8.1 Understanding Value Streams, From Demand to Value, 8.2 Designing a Value Stream, to Step-by-Step Walkthrough, 8.3 Key Process Concepts, Activities, Procedures, and Work Instructions, 8.4 Applying Value Streams to Common Scenarios. This chapter introduces the connective maps that make it possible, value streams and processes. Think of them as the playbooks and the choreography for your service management team. A value stream is the big-picture journey from a customer's need to the delivery of value. A process is the detailed sequence of steps to accomplish a specific goal within that journey. Together, they turn strategy into actionable, repeatable steps. Mastering this concept is where theory becomes execution. It's the difference between knowing you should be customer-focused and having a clear, measurable path to make it happen every single time. Section 8.1 Understanding Value Streams, From Demand to Value. Let's start with a simple analogy. Imagine you want to order a custom bookshelf online. Your demand is the need for storage and aesthetics. The value is the delivered, assembled bookshelf in your home, perfectly holding your collection. The value stream is the complete end-to-end journey to fulfill that demand. It's not just the carpenter building it. It includes the website where you place the order, the payment processing, the sourcing of materials, the assembly, the quality check, the packaging, the shipping logistics, the delivery notification, and the assembly instructions. Every step, from your initial click to your final satisfaction, is part of that stream. In ITIL 4, a value stream is defined as a series of steps an organization undertakes to create and deliver products and services to a consumer. It is the ultimate value-focused lens, mapping the entire pathway from trigger to outcome. The power of viewing work through value streams is profound. It shifts your perspective from isolated departmental tasks, I process invoices, to the integrated flow of value, I enable the step that gets the critical server component delivered to the data center. This visibility is crucial for identifying bottlenecks, redundancies, and opportunities for improvement that you would never see when looking at processes in isolation. Every value stream is triggered by a specific demand, either a new service request or the restoration of a live service. It then mobilizes the organization's resources, the 4 dimensions, and practices, guided by the principles, to co-create value with the consumer. The output is not just a delivered product, but an achievement of the desired outcome, the bookshelf in your home, the restored application for the sales team, the new software license for the developer. Section 8.2 Designing a Value Stream, to Step-by-Step Walkthrough. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a horizontal, flowing pipeline titled The Value Stream Journey. It starts with a demand icon, a light bulb or raised hand, on the left. The pipeline flows through 4 major, visually distinct segments: engage and understand, plan and design, build and implement, and deliver and support. Each segment contains smaller, linked icons representing practices, like a chat bubble for engage, a blueprint for design, a gear for deploy, a shield for support. The flow culminates on the right in a value and outcome icon, a trophy or smiling customer. The style should be clean, modern infographic with a slight isometric perspective, using a cohesive color palette that flows from cool to warm tones as it moves left to right. Designing a value stream isn't about creating something from nothing. It's about making the implicit explicit. It's about documenting the current journey to understand it, then optimizing it. Let's walk through designing one for a common IT scenario, onboarding a new employee. Step 1. Identify the trigger and outcome. First, define the boundaries. The trigger, demand, is the formal notification from HR that a new hire is starting on a specific date. The outcome, value, is a fully equipped, authenticated, and productive employee on their first day, with all necessary IT access, hardware, and knowledge. Step 2. Map the current state. Gather stakeholders from IT, HR, and even recent hires. Using a whiteboard or digital tool, ask, what happens next? Document every step, no matter how small, in sequence. You might discover steps like 1. HR system creates ticket in IT service management tool. 2. Service desk assigns ticket to the onboarding the team. 3. Team member checks approved hardware inventory. 4. If laptop is in stock, image it with standard software. 5. If not in stock, initiate procurement, a substream. 6. Create user account in Active Directory and email system. 7. Add user to predefined security groups, e.g., department marketing. 8. Configure phone and VoIP extension. 9. Package equipment for delivery or desk setup. 10. Schedule and send day 1 welcome email with credentials and links. Step 3. Analyze for waste and bottlenecks. This is where the magic happens. Look at your map and ask critical questions guided by the principles. Are we optimizing and automating? Is step 3, checking inventory, manual? Could it be automated? Are we keeping it simple and practical? Are there 15 security groups when 5 would suffice? Where is the wait time? Does procurement cause a 2-week delay, making the new hire's first day ineffective? Step 4. Design the future state. Redesign the stream to eliminate waste. Perhaps you integrate the HR and IT systems so the ticket auto-creates and triggers an automated inventory check. Maybe you implement a just-in-time imaging process. You could create standardized access bundles per role that are provisioned with one click. The future state stream should be leaner, faster, and more reliable. Step 5. Implement, measure, and evolve. Put the new stream into action, but don't just set and forget. Define metrics, time to full productivity, onboarding ticket cycle time, first day issue rate. Use the continual improvement practice to regularly review these metrics and the stream itself. The value stream is a living entity, not a fossil. Section 8.3, Key Process Concepts, Activities, Procedures, and Work Instructions. If a value stream is the cross-country road trip from New York to Los Angeles, then processes are the detailed rules for driving, navigating, and maintaining the car during that trip. A process is a set of interrelated or interacting activities that transform inputs into outputs. It is a structured, measurable sequence designed to accomplish a specific objective. Processes are the building blocks of a value stream. That onboarding value stream contains several processes: the user account management process, the device imaging process, the procurement process. To understand processes, we need to define their components clearly. Activity, a basic unit of work. It is a single, defined task. In the user account management process, activities include validate request form, open admin console, enter user details, and assign to security group. Procedure, a documented way to carry out an activity or a process. It is a series of steps. A procedure for the enter user details activity might be 1. Log into the IAM portal. 2. Navigate to the create user. 3. Copy data from the request form fields A, B, C into portal fields X, Y, Z. 4. Click Validate. Work instruction, the most granular level of detail. These are step-by-step instructions for a specific tool or action, often used for training or complex tasks. A work instruction might be a screenshot annotated with arrows showing exactly which button to click in the IAM portal, or the exact syntax for a command line entry. Here's how they nest together. Concept, scope, analogy, purpose. The goal is to have the right level of documentation. Too little, and work becomes chaotic and dependent on tribal knowledge. Too much, and you create bureaucracy that stifles efficiency and innovation. Apply the principle of keep it simple and practical, document what is necessary for consistency, compliance, and training, and leave room for professional judgment. Section 8.4 Applying value streams to common scenarios. Let's solidify this with two more scenarios, focusing on the value stream lens. Scenario 1, resolving a major incident, the restore service demand. Asterisk trigger, a monitoring alert indicates the corporate e-commerce website is down. Asterisk outcome, service restored, sales pipeline secured, and root cause being addressed. Asterisk sample value stream steps, 1. Alert received in IT operations. Incident is logged and classified as major. 2. Major incident procedure is invoked. Bridge call is started. 3. Engage, communications are sent to leadership and a holding page is activated for customers. 4. Plan and design, tech teams, network, servers, application, diagnose. A workaround is identified. 5. Build and implement, workaround is applied via emergency change. 6. Deliver and support, service is verified as restored. Bridge call ends. Communications are updated. 7. Incident record is linked to a problem record for root cause analysis. Asterisk insight, this stream cuts across multiple practices, incident, monitoring, change, problem, and teams. Mapping it reveals critical handoff points where communication often fails. Scenario 2, implementing a minor software update, the service request demand. Asterisk trigger, a user submits a request, please install the latest version of Design Pro on my laptop. Asterisk outcome, user has the updated, secure, and functioning software they need to perform their job. Asterisk sample value stream steps, 1. Request is logged via the service portal. 2. Engage, automated validation checks the user is licensed and entitled. 3. Plan and design, if standard, the request is auto-approved. If non-standard, it routes for manager approval. 4. Build and implement, for standard requests, the deployment tool automatically pushes the software package to the user's device after hours. 5. Deliver and support, user receives a notification of successful installation. Knowledge article on What's New in Design Pro v5 is linked. 6. Request is closed automatically upon successful deployment confirmation. Asterisk insight, this stream highlights the power of automation and integration between the service catalog, deployment tools, and knowledge base. The ideal future state has 0 manual steps for this routine task. By now, you should see the landscape of your work differently. You're not just performing isolated tasks. You are an essential contributor to one or more value streams that deliver real outcomes to consumers. This mapping discipline is what turns a collection of skilled individuals and good practices into a truly cohesive, efficient, and value-driven service organization. It's how you make the journey from demand to value not just possible, but predictable and excellent.
Chapter 9, Navigating the Shift, from Projects to Products. For decades, the project has been the dominant unit of work in IT. We had a clear start, a defined scope, a budget, and an end date. We delivered a system or an update, handed it over to operations, and moved on. But in a world where customer needs change weekly and competitive advantage comes from continuous adaptation, this model is showing its limits. The finish line keeps moving. Sections 9.1, the project-to-product evolution in IT, 9.2, integrating Agile, DevOps, and Lean with ITIL 4, 9.3, The role of practices in a product-centric model, 9.4, fostering a collaborative and adaptive culture. This chapter is about a fundamental evolution, from managing finite projects to nurturing living products. It's a shift from build it, ship it, forget it to launch, learn, and evolve. This isn't just a change in terminology, it's a change in mindset, structure, and rhythm. It asks us to integrate the agility of modern methods like Agile and DevOps with the holistic governance of ITIL4 to create sustainable, value-generating services. If value streams are the maps for a specific journey, this product-centric model defines the entire vehicle and its ongoing mission. Let's learn how to navigate this shift. Section 9.1. The project-to-product evolution in IT. Imagine building a lighthouse. A project team would be assembled. They would design it, pour the concrete, install the lamp, and celebrate the grand opening. The project is a success, on time and on budget. But what happens when fog rolls in and a new, more powerful lens technology becomes available? Under a pure project model, the team has disbanded. The lighthouse is now operations problem, and upgrading it requires funding and launching a whole new Lighthouse 2.0 project. A product mindset sees the lighthouse differently. The product is maritime safety for the bay. The initial construction was just the first release. A dedicated, ongoing team remains responsible for that product's performance, iteratively improving the light, adding foghorns, and integrating weather data, whatever is needed to fulfill the evolving outcome of safety. This is the core of the evolution. A project is a temporary endeavor to create a unique output. A product is a configuration of resources designed to offer value to customers through services. The product is persistent, the teams that build and run it are stable. Why does this matter now? Because digital services are never done. Your company's mobile app, cloud infrastructure, or SaaS platform is a continuous value stream. The old project handoff to operations creates silos, slows feedback, and makes it difficult to respond to user behavior. The product model aligns teams around long-term outcomes, customer satisfaction, market share, revenue rather than short-term outputs like features delivered. This shift directly connects to the service value system we explored earlier. A product becomes the primary vehicle through which value flows. The SVS provides the adaptable operating model around that product, ensuring all dimensions, organizations, information, technology, and partners are aligned to its success. Section 9.2. Integrating Agile, DevOps, and Lean with ITIL4. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing the contrast between project and product models. On the left, a linear, segmented pipeline labeled project model shows discrete phases: plan, build, handoff, operate, with a wall between build and operate. The team icons disappear after build. On the right, a continuous, looping circle labeled product model shows phases: ideate, develop, release, operate, learn, all contained within one circle managed by a single, persistent team. Use a clean, flat design with contrasting colors, cool blue for project, warm green for product, to emphasize the difference in flow and ownership. You might be thinking, this sounds like Agile or DevOps. You're right. The product-centric model is the natural home for these ways of working. The beauty of ITIL4 is that it doesn't compete with them, it provides the service management context to make them more effective and holistic. Think of Agile, DevOps, and Lean as powerful engines for speed, collaboration, and efficiency. ITIL4 is the chassis, steering, and navigation system that ensures the engine is driving towards sustainable value on a well-maintained road. One without the other is either directionless speed or governance without momentum. Let's break down the integration. Agile provides the iterative, customer-focused development rhythm. It answers how we build and adapt the product in small, valuable increments. DevOps breaks down the wall between development, the project team, and operations, the run team, creating a shared responsibility for the product's entire lifecycle. It answers how we streamline the path from code to live service. Lean gives us the mindset to eliminate waste from our value streams, focusing effort only on what truly creates customer value. It answers how we stay efficient and focused. ITIL 4 integrates these by providing the overarching service management framework. It asks the critical questions these methods sometimes overlook in their focus on flow. How do we ensure changes are safe? Change enablement. How do we manage incidents that affect live products? Incident management. How do we align this product work with organizational strategy and financial constraints? Portfolio management. In practice, this means your product team uses agile sprints to develop features, DevOps toolchains to automate deployment, lean techniques to refine their workflow, and ITIL 4 practices to ensure it's all reliable, measurable, and aligned with business outcomes. Section 9.3. The role of practices in a product-centric model. So, how do our 34 management practices change when we organize around products? They don't disappear. They evolve from being isolated functions to being integrated capabilities of the product team. The goal is to embed governance and operational excellence into the team's daily workflow, not impose it as an external checkpoint. Here's how key practices transform. Change enablement and release management. In a product model, these don't act as gatekeepers for a quarterly release train. Instead, they are embedded patterns and automated pipelines that allow for safe, frequent, and small releases. The practice ensures the team has the automated testing, rollback capabilities, and approval thresholds to deploy with confidence multiple times a day. Service desk and incident management. The product team feels the pain directly. There is no handoff. A SEV1 incident is their incident. The service desk becomes a partner, routing user sentiment and issues directly to the team that can fix the root cause, closing the feedback loop rapidly. Service level management. Instead of a static, annually negotiated agreement, the product team uses live monitoring and user analytics to define and track key product metrics, e.g., user engagement, transaction success rate. Objectives are dynamic and focused on user outcomes. Continual improvement. This becomes the team's heartbeat. Every sprint retrospective, every review of operational metrics, is a continual improvement activity. The practice is not a separate meeting, it's baked into the product team's rhythm. The table below summarizes this shift in ownership and rhythm. Practice traditional, project, model product-centric model. Section 9.4. Fostering a collaborative and adaptive culture. Ultimately, this shift cannot be achieved by redrawing org charts alone. It requires a profound cultural evolution. We are moving from a culture of specialization and contracts, I built it, your job is to run it, to one of shared ownership and outcomes, we are all responsible for this product's success from concept to retirement. This touches every dimension of service management. Organizations must form stable, cross-functional product teams with all the skills needed: development, operations, design, support. People need a growth mindset, learning new skills beyond their traditional silos. Partners become integrated into the product team's flow, not distant vendors. Information must flow freely as the team's shared knowledge, not hoarded expertise. Fostering this culture relies heavily on the guiding principles we learned earlier. Collaborate and promote visibility breaks down silos. Focus on value keeps the team aligned on user outcomes, not just feature completion. Start where you are means you can begin this shift with one pilot product team, learning and adapting as you go. The leader's role changes from a commander of tasks to a curator of environment and purpose. Your job is to empower the product team, give them clear outcomes, and remove the organizational friction that slows them down. Remember the lighthouse. In a product-centric world, we don't just build a structure and walk away. We commit to the ongoing outcome of safety, empowering a dedicated crew to adapt, improve, and ensure the light never fails to guide its users. That is the essence of modern IT service management.
Chapter 10. Your Roadmap to Adoption, Getting Started. You've journeyed through the philosophy, the practices, the relationships, and the new product-centric mindset of ITIL 4. You're convinced of its value. The question that remains is the most practical one of all: where do I actually begin? Sections 10.1. Assessing your current state, a simple self-diagnosis. 10.2. Defining a clear vision and objectives for your initiative. 10.3, planning your first iterative improvements, 10.4, measuring success and demonstrating early value. This chapter is your launch pad. Adopting ITIL isn't about a massive, disruptive Big Bang project. That approach often fails, creating resistance and exhaustion. True adoption is a series of thoughtful, iterative steps that build momentum by delivering visible value. It's about applying the guiding principles, starting where you are and progressing iteratively to the adoption effort itself. Think of this not as a rigid prescription, but as your personal roadmap. We'll move from an honest assessment of your current reality to defining a compelling destination, to planning your first concrete steps, and finally, to proving the value of your journey. Let's turn understanding into action. 10.1 Assessing your current state, a simple self-diagnosis. You can't plot a course if you don't know your starting point. Before dreaming of future states, we must conduct a compassionate, clear-eyed assessment of the present. This isn't about assigning blame or highlighting failures, it's about establishing a factual baseline from which to improve. Start by gathering a small, cross-functional team, someone from the service desk, an operations engineer, a project lead. Your goal is to answer one question: how do things really work today? Avoid theoretical process diagrams. Focus on the actual flow of work, communication, and decisions. A powerful way to do this is to walk through a recent, common scenario from end to end. For example, trace the journey of a standard user request for a new software license or the response to a minor network outage. Don't just document the official steps, note the unofficial ones, the side-channel Slack messages, the manual spreadsheets, the heroic interventions. Use the 4 dimensions model from Chapter 3 as your lens. Ask, organizations and people, who is involved? Are roles clear? Is there collaboration or siloed work? Information and technology, what tools are used? Do they talk to each other? Where is information stored? Partners and suppliers, do we depend on an external vendor for this? How is that relationship managed? Value streams and processes, what is the actual sequence of activities? Where are the delays or handoffs? Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a current state discovery map. The visual is a hand-drawn style flowchart on a whiteboard. It starts with a sticky note labeled User Reports Issue and follows a winding, tangled path through boxes like Email to Bob, Check Silent Spreadsheet, Wait for Manager Approval, and Manual Ticket Update, ending at Issue Resolved. Arrows are loopy and cross over each other. The style should feel authentic and slightly messy, not overly polished. The output of this diagnosis isn't a judgment, it's your first, most valuable piece of data. It reveals the real opportunities for improvement, the friction points, the wasted effort, the moments of confusion that your team experiences daily. This is where you start. 10.2 Defining a clear vision and objectives for your initiative. With a clear picture of your current state, you can now define where you want to go. A vague goal like "be better at ITIL" will not inspire or guide anyone. You need a specific, valuable, and shared vision. Your vision should connect directly to the pain points or opportunities you identified. It should be a statement of the tangible benefit you will create. Instead of implement incident management, consider a vision like, to restore normal service for our users faster and with less stress for our IT team by clarifying roles and improving our alert-to-resolution workflow. This vision is compelling because it speaks to value for both the customer, faster restoration, and the team, less stress. It's grounded in the reality you diagnosed. Next, break this vision down into SMART objectives for your first iteration. These are your success criteria. Specific, reduce the average resolution time for priority 3 incidents by 20%. Measurable, track resolution time via the service desk tool. Achievable, focus on a defined subset of incidents, e.g., application access issues. Relevant, this directly supports the vision of faster restoration. Time-bound, achieve this within the next 8-week improvement cycle. Remember the product mindset from Chapter 9? Treat this initiative itself as a minimal viable product, MVP. Your first objective isn't to rebuild the entire service management engine. It's to prove one component works and delivers value. This builds credibility and wins the support needed for the next step. 10.3. Planning your first iterative improvements. Now, we move to action. Using the vision and objectives as your guardrails, design your first improvement iteration. This is where you selectively apply the practices you've learned, but with surgical precision. You are not implementing a practice, you are solving a specific problem using the guidance of a practice. Let's say your diagnosis found chaos in how incidents are assigned, and your vision is to reduce resolution time. Your improvement iteration might focus on one core element of the incident management practice: incident categorization and prioritization. Your plan isn't a 100-page process document. It's a simple, living agreement on how the next 4 to 8 weeks of work will unfold. It should answer: 1. What are we changing? We are defining clear categories, e.g., access, performance, outage, and a simple priority matrix, based on impact and urgency, for our top 10 incident types. 2. Who is involved? The service desk team, to classify, and the level 2 network and app teams, to agree on priorities. 3. What steps will we take? This is your mini-value stream. Week 1, draft matrix in a collaborative workshop. Week 2, test it with past ticket data. Week 3, update the ticket template in our tool. Week 4, communicate the change and run a pilot. 4. What potential risks do we need to manage? Applying the risk management practice lightly. Risk: confusion during the pilot. Mitigation: assign a champion on each team to answer questions. This approach embodies progress iteratively with feedback. You are making a small, manageable change, observing its effects, and learning. It's far less intimidating than a wholesale process overhaul and allows for real-time adjustment. 10.4. Measuring success and demonstrating early value. The final, non-negotiable step is to close the loop. Did our small change create the value we intended? If you don't measure, you are merely guessing, and you will struggle to justify further investment. Your measurement must tie directly back to the SMART objectives you set in section 10.2. Use the data your tools already collect. The goal is not to create burdensome new reporting but to illuminate the impact of your work. For our incident prioritization example, you would track primary metric, average resolution time for the piloted incident types. Plot this on a simple chart over the 8-week period. Supporting metric, number of incidents reassigned due to incorrect priority, a measure of process adoption. Qualitative feedback, a quick survey or anecdotal feedback from the service desk and engineering teams. Is this making your work easier? The most powerful tool you have is the story of improvement. Create a 1-page summary at the end of your iteration. Improvement iteration, incident prioritization pilot. This 1-page report is your evidence of value. Share it with your team, your manager, and stakeholders. It demonstrates tangible progress, builds confidence, and, crucially, generates the momentum and permission for your next iteration. Adopting ITIL is a journey of continuous improvement, and you have now taken the first, most critical step: starting. You have a method to assess, a way to plan, and a means to prove value. Remember, you are not alone in this. You are applying a system designed for adaptability. Trust the principles, focus on value, and take that next step.
Chapter 11. Preparing for the ITIL 4 Foundation exam. You've journeyed through the philosophy, practices, and real-world application of ITIL 4. You understand the guiding principles, the 4 dimensions, and the service value system. You've seen how value streams connect activities and how a shift from projects to products changes everything. Now, it's time to consolidate that knowledge and demonstrate your understanding. This chapter is your tactical guide to exam success. Sections 11.1. Demystifying the exam format and question styles. 11.2. A strategic study plan. What to focus on, 11.3, effective review techniques for key concepts, 11.4, practice and mindset, your keys to exam day success. Think of the ITIL 4 foundation exam not as a barrier, but as a validation. It's a structured opportunity to prove to yourself and the industry that you grasp a modern framework for creating value through services. The goal isn't to cram and forget, it's to solidify the concepts so they stick with you long after the test is over. Let's prepare strategically. Section 11.1, demystifying the exam format and question styles. Knowing what to expect removes half the anxiety. The ITIL 4 foundation exam has a consistent, transparent format. There are no trick questions designed to trip you up. Instead, the exam assesses your comprehension of the framework's key components and your ability to apply its logic. The exam is 60 minutes long and consists of 40 multiple-choice questions. To pass, you must score at least 65%, which means correctly answering 26 questions. The questions are drawn from the entire syllabus, with a focus on key definitions, relationships between concepts, and the practical application of the guiding principles and practices. Understanding the 4 question styles. Recognizing the style of a question helps you quickly identify what is being asked. You will typically encounter 4 types. 1. Definition recall. These questions test your knowledge of specific terms. They are straightforward but require precise understanding. Example: what is the definition of a service? 2. Concept relationship. These questions assess how well you understand how ITIL 4 components fit together. They often use words like best, primary, or most. Example: which guiding principle is most associated with the practice of continual improvement? 3. Scenario application. This is where your understanding gets practical. You'll be given a short, realistic workplace scenario and asked to identify the relevant ITIL 4 concept, principle, or practice. Example: a team is overwhelmed by unplanned work. Which practice should they improve to better manage this situation? 4. List completion. These questions ask you to identify missing elements from a list, such as the 4 dimensions of service management or the components of the service value system. Example: which of the following is not one of the key activities of the plan value chain activity? The key to all question styles is to read carefully. Underline key verbs like best, primary, or not. In scenario questions, identify the core problem or activity described before looking at the answer choices. Figure: extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a split-screen visual. On the left, 4 distinct question types are represented by simple, clear icons: a book, definition, 2 linking gears, relationship, a person at a desk, scenario, and a checklist, list. On the right, a sample exam question of each type is displayed in a clean, readable font. The style is modern infographic, using a cohesive color scheme with soft blues and grays, flat design, and clear visual separation. Section 11.2, a strategic study plan, what to focus on. With the entire framework in mind, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. A strategic study plan focuses your energy on the areas of highest weight and complexity. Don't try to memorize the entire text. Instead, build a strong mental model of the key structures. Your study should be weighted towards understanding a few critical areas deeply. Use the following table to prioritize your efforts. Priority area key focus: why it's important. Build your plan backwards from your exam date. Dedicate the first 70% of your time to the high and medium priority areas, using the last 30% for comprehensive review and practice exams. Schedule short, consistent study sessions, e.g., 45 minutes daily, rather than infrequent marathons. Section 11.3, effective review techniques for key concepts. Passive reading is a poor tool for retention. To move knowledge from short-term to long-term memory, you need to engage with the material actively. These techniques force you to recall, organize, and apply information. Create concept maps. Don't just read about the service value system, draw it. Sketch the SVS, place the guiding principles around it, and connect the value chain activities to specific practices. This visual creation process builds neural pathways that pure reading cannot. Teach someone, or something. The Feynman technique is powerful. Take a concept like the difference between a service and a product and explain it out loud as if to a colleague new to IT. If you stumble, you've found a gap in your own understanding. Go back and clarify it. Use flashcards for precise definitions. 4 definition-style questions. Digital flashcards are ideal. Put the term on one side, e.g., utility, and the official definition on the other, the functionality offered by a product or service to meet a particular need. Use spaced repetition software, SRS, like Anki to review them efficiently. Group and categorize. A significant part of the exam is about relationships. Make lists and group items. For example, list all 34 practices and group them into general management, service management, and technical management categories. This helps you answer which of these is a service management practice questions instantly. Example of a simple categorization exercise, pseudocode. Practices equals incident management, service desk, risk management, infrastructure management. Service_management_practices equals general_management_practices equals. For practice in practices. If practice in incident management, service desk. Service_management_practices. Append practice. If practice in risk management. General_management_practices. Append practice. Else. Handle technical or other categories. Pass. Print service management practices. Service_management_practices. Section 11.4, Practice and Mindset, your keys to exam day success. In the final stretch, your focus shifts from learning to performing. This is where practice exams and the right mindset become your most valuable tools. The power of practice exams. Take at least 2 or 3 full, timed practice exams under realistic conditions. This serves 3 crucial purposes. Identifies knowledge gaps. Your score report will highlight weak areas. Go back and review those specific concepts. Builds exam stamina. 60 minutes of focused mental effort is a skill. Practice trains your brain to maintain concentration for the full duration. Manages timing. You'll learn your pace. A good rule is to spend no more than 90 seconds on any single question. If you're stuck, flag it and move on. After each practice exam, don't just check your score. Review every question, both correct and incorrect. Understand why the correct answer is right and, critically, why the attractive wrong answers are wrong. Cultivating the right mindset. Your mental state on exam day is as important as your knowledge. Approach it with calm confidence. The night before, do not cram. Your brain needs rest to consolidate what you've learned. Review your concept maps or flashcards lightly, then stop. Ensure you know the exam logistics, check-in process, required ID. Get a full night's sleep. The hour before, avoid discussing topics with other candidates, which can seed doubt. Instead, use techniques to calm your nervous system. Take deep breaths, listen to calming music, or take a short walk. Arrive at your testing location, physical or virtual, early. During the exam, read each question twice. Use the highlight and flag tools in the exam software. For scenario questions, mentally map the description to the ITIL 4 concepts you know. Trust your first instinct unless you have clear evidence to change an answer. Remember, it's a test of foundational understanding, not obscure trivia. You are prepared. You've done the work. You understand how to create value, navigate dimensions, and apply practices. Now, go and validate that expertise. The ITIL 4 Foundation certification is more than a line on your resume. It's a testament to your commitment to professional excellence in service management. You've got this.
Chapter 12, Your Journey Forward, From Foundation to Mastery. Congratulations! You've reached the final chapter of this crash course, but more importantly, you've reached a new starting line. You now possess the foundational language, concepts, and mindset of ITIL 4. This isn't an end, it's an invitation. The real work, and the real reward, begins when you step out of these pages and into your daily role. Sections 12.1 Synthesizing the ITIL for Mindset, Key Takeaways, 12.2 Beyond the Book, Applying Your Knowledge on Monday Morning, 12.3 Exploring the ITIL for Certification Pathway, 12.4 Building a Culture of Continual Service Excellence. This chapter is your bridge from learning to doing, from theory to impact. We'll synthesize the core mindset, translate knowledge into Monday morning action, explore the pathways for formal growth, and finally, consider how to nurture the culture that makes excellence sustainable. Your journey from foundation to mastery starts here. Section 12.1 Synthesizing the ITIL for Mindset, Key Takeaways. Let's step back from the individual components. Passing the exam requires knowing the parts, mastering service management requires feeling the whole. The true power of ITIL for isn't in any single practice or principle, but in the interconnected mindset they create. At its heart, ITIL for shifts your perspective from managing technology to co-creating value. It asks you to see every task, ticket, and meeting not as an isolated event, but as a link in a chain that either enables or hinders value for a customer. Remember the service value system from Chapter 2? It's not just a diagram, it's a constant reminder that your work exists within a dynamic system where opportunity, demand, and outcomes are in constant flow. This mindset is built on 3 foundational pillars we've woven throughout this book. First, adopt a holistic view. The 4 dimensions, organizations and people, information and technology, partners and suppliers, value streams and processes, are your lens. A failed change isn't just a technical error, it might be a training gap, a broken process, or a supplier issue. You must learn to look in all 4 directions. Second, progress iteratively with feedback. The grand, multi-year project is often a trap. Start where you are, use the guiding principles as your compass, and make small, measurable improvements. Celebrate the quick wins that build confidence and demonstrate the value of the framework itself. Third, collaborate and make work visible. Silos are the arch nemesis of value streams. Use practices like service request management or incident management not just to resolve issues, but to create shared understanding. When work and its flow are visible, collaboration becomes natural, and bottlenecks become obvious. Internalize this mindset. It is your most durable tool. When faced with a complex problem, you won't just reach for a procedure, you'll instinctively consider the dimensions, look for feedback loops, and seek the right collaborators. That is the mark of a true practitioner. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a professional's mind as a central hub. Radiating out are key mindset icons, a holistic eye, 4 dimensions, a circular arrow, iterative progress, and interlocking gears, collaboration. In the background, the service value system forms a subtle, glowing framework. Style, modern, conceptual infographic with clean lines and a supportive, aspirational color palette. Section 12.2, Beyond the Book, Applying Your Knowledge on Monday Morning. Theory is essential, but application is everything. You might be thinking, this all makes sense, but what do I actually do differently on my next shift? Let's translate mindset into immediate, practical action. Start by observing with intent. For 1 week, be an anthropologist in your own workplace. Map a simple value stream for a common service request, from the user's initial need to their satisfaction. Don't try to fix it yet, just document it. Where are the handoffs? Where do people wait? Which of the 4 dimensions seems strained? This simple act of observation, guided by your new ITIL for lens, will reveal improvement opportunities you've never seen before. Next, initiate 1 conversation framed by value. In your next meeting about a recurring incident or a user complaint, shift the language. Instead of starting with the server is slow, try our users are struggling to achieve their outcome of processing orders quickly. Let's trace the value stream for that outcome to see where it's breaking down. This reframes the problem from a technical symptom to a value co-creation issue, opening up new solutions. Finally, practice iterative improvement on one process. Pick one small, painful step in your daily work, perhaps how escalations are communicated or how a change is documented. Apply that to start where you are and keep it simple principles. Propose one tiny, concrete improvement. Measure the result. This isn't about overhauling the IT department, it's about proving to yourself and your team that a focused, iterative approach works. Your role possible Monday morning action. These actions are small, but they are powerful. They build momentum, demonstrate the practicality of the framework, and, most importantly, they start to change habits. Mastery is built one deliberate action at a time. Section 12.3, Exploring the ITIL for Certification Pathway. The ITIL for Foundation Certification you're now prepared for is the universal key. It unlocks the door to a structured path of specialization and strategic depth. Think of the certification pathway not as a mere collection of badges, but as a curated journey to deepen your expertise in the areas that match your career aspirations. After Foundation, the pathway splits into two strategic streams, the ITIL for Managing Professional, MP, and the ITIL for Strategic Leader, SL. These are not sequential, you choose based on your direction. The Managing Professional, MP, stream is for those who will run and optimize IT, digital, and service teams. It's deeply practical. The modules include Create, Deliver and Support, focuses on core service management activities and value streams. Drive stakeholder value, explores service relationships, customer journeys, and fostering loyalty. High Velocity IT, teaches how to integrate Agile, Lean, and DevOps in digital environments. The Strategic Leader, SL, stream is for those who will shape and direct IT-enabled business strategy. It focuses on the big picture. The modules are Direct, Plan and Improve, covers leadership, strategy, and fostering a culture of continual improvement. Digital and IT Strategy focuses on aligning digital business strategy with IT capabilities and driving disruption. Achieving both the MP and SL designations leads to the pinnacle, ITIL for Master. This recognizes your ability to apply the principles and methods of ITIL to real-world situations at an exceptional level. Figure, extra detailed AI-ready prompt for AI-generated diagram showing a clear certification pathway flowchart. ITIL for Foundation is at the center as a foundation stone. Two clear arrows branch upward, one to the Managing Professional, MP, track with its 3 module icons, the other to the Strategic Leader, SL, track with its 2 modules. A final arrow from both streams converges at the pinnacle at ITIL for Master. Style, professional roadmap, clean and aspirational, with icons representing each module's focus. My advice? Pass your foundation exam first and let that knowledge breathe. Apply it for 6 to 12 months. Then, let your daily challenges and career goals guide your next choice. Are you constantly wrestling with process bottlenecks? Look at MP. Are you involved in planning how IT enables new business models? SL might be your call. The pathway is a tool for your growth, not a rigid mandate. Section 12.4, Building a Culture of Continual Service Excellence. Frameworks fade and initiatives stall if they are not rooted in culture. You can implement every practice perfectly, but if the surrounding culture views ITIL as a bureaucratic rulebook, it will fail. The ultimate goal of your journey is to help foster a culture of continual service excellence. This culture has a few key signatures. First, improvement is everyone's job. It's not just the manager's responsibility or a quarterly workshop. It's the service desk analyst asking, how could we prevent this incident next time? It's the developer considering operational stability when writing code. It's a shared mindset, fueled by the progress iteratively and collaborate principles. Second, learning from failure is celebrated more than blaming individuals. When a major incident occurs, the goal of a post-incident review, guided by the incident management practice, is not to find a scapegoat, but to strengthen the system. What in our value stream, our information flow, or our team structure allowed this to happen? This requires psychological safety and leadership that models curiosity over criticism. Finally, value is the universal language. In meetings, in tickets, in strategy sessions, the central question becomes, how does this help our user achieve their outcome? This focus on co-created value naturally breaks down silos, aligns priorities, and makes the work more meaningful. Building this culture is a leadership act, regardless of your title. You lead by applying the mindset yourself. You lead by framing problems around value. You lead by celebrating small improvements. You lead by asking, what did we learn after a setback? Culture is built through 1,000 small, consistent actions. Your journey continues. You started this book seeking a foundation. You now have that, and so much more. You have a new lens to see your work, a practical set of tools to improve it, and a roadmap for your own growth. The journey from foundation to mastery is not a straight line on a certificate, it's a winding path of application, learning, and adaptation. Take your first step on Monday morning. Observe, reframe one conversation, make one small improvement. Then take another step. The philosophy of ITIL is not something you finish learning, it's something you live in your professional practice. Go forth and co-create value. We wish you the very best on your exam and, far more importantly, on your rewarding journey ahead. Thanks for watching our ITIL Foundation Crash course. We hope this high-level overview gave you a solid starting point for understanding modern IT service management and preparing for your exam. If you found this video helpful, please smash that like button and share it with your colleagues or study group. It really helps the channel grow, and if you want more content like this, including deep dives into specific ITIL practices, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next upload. Good luck with your studies, and we'll see you in the next video.